I want to use these video journals to share with you some of my own journey of waking up, the dilemmas I face in my life. And recently, I've been really thinking about the way and the challenges to live this experience of lucid living. You see, it's one thing to become conscious of our deeper nature where we're all one, and then it seems another thing again to then bridge the gap between the one and the many and to live it in the world. And that is definitely a challenge I face. You know, there was a time in my life and when my major focus was, you know, how can I stop being stuck in separateness? How can I return to that big, spacious, loving space where everything's all right? What's happened for me over the years as I've paid it attention through philosophy, meditation, all sorts of techniques, but just really in the moment, just, see it, is that has become easier, as anything does. You know, you pay attention to anything, it becomes easier. And it's relatively, it's accessible to me. Once you know where to look, as it were, can sink into that place. Now, there's many people who see that's the whole thing. That's it. Just get out of separateness, get into oneness. Hallelujah. Enlightenment. Doesn't seem like that to me. Because that's another pole of our identity. It's not the whole thing. We're both separate and not separate. And to be all that we are means coming back into the separateness and living with that. And that's the lucid living for me. So the struggle for me is, how can I be in my life with all of its everyday problems? You know, I'm a family man, I have 2 young kids. It's hectic, it's crazy. And in the creative process too, because, you know, as a writer, the creative process can be really up and down. You know, one day you're on it, next day you want to throw the whole thing away. And often you have to be able to let it dissolve into your hands for something new to come out. And that can be scary and frustrating. And in your life generally, in my experience is, you know, something dies before something new can be born. And the process is not always easy. So how to be in those two places at once? Not just to, you know, I can escape quite easily into the but to bring the into this, that's more of a challenge, and a really interesting challenge, because it brings this to life. And that's what I'm engaged with. That's what I'm doing on my adventure right now. How can I bring this, that stillness, into this incredible busyness? You know, because there's been times when I've tried to just be in the big stillness and then let creation happen. It's a lovely idea. Oh, it just happens. My experience is, well, it does, but what I create from that withdrawn state is kind of insipid, a bit saccharine-y, a bit, you know, just lacks edge. It's not very good. So I need to come in. I need to come into the duality, the create, criticize, the it's going well, it's not going well, and yet have this as this background of recognition of my being. So that I can not just be still, you know, but also take that stillness into activity, movement, creation, being dynamic. That's what lucid living is about for me. And that's what I am exploring at this particular stage in my own ongoing, strange, mysterious journey that's my life.